What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Reckless once again with a new interview. Today I got a very talented artist and philanthropist here with me today. Let's introduce you to Lou. How you doing, Lou?
Hi, good, yeah.
Good shit. She's an artist out here from Santa Cruz. And first of all, tell us how you got into music.
I dropped out of college.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't really know what I was doing with my life, but I started, my friend was making a beat one day and I just started writing a song, and I really fell in love with writing again. I'd always been a singer. I'd always been in choirs and music groups. I played the cello when I was a little kid.
Oh, nice.
But I really just fell in love with songwriting, and that's kind of what makes me happy and what I figured out what I want to pursue in my life.
That's awesome. What influences your style musically?
Oh, everything. I really love to listen to a bunch of music. A lot of my friends are into very different music from me, and I feel very blessed for that because I get to listen to so much music and really be influenced by everything. I'm extremely influenced by pop and hip hop, but also rock and punk rock as well. And I love all types of music, alternative music, especially just being weird with it, noise music.
No boundaries kind of music.
Yeah, no boundaries.
Exactly. What keeps you motivated to keep making music?
I think that my friends do. I was making songs for myself for a while, but then I met a couple artists who were actually doing it for real. I met Misha L and Khan, and they persuaded me that I should be more involved. I met Khan this one night at our friend's producer's house. His name is Space Cadet, and Khan had never met me before, but Space introduced me as a singer, and he just was like, "Hey, do you want to get on this track?" And I was brave enough to do it. I was so nervous. I had a huge a celebrity crush on Khan. Just like he was so cool to me, and so I went on a track, and I performed it with him since. It's one of his all-time tracks, which is really cool. A lot of audience members love it and sing along at venues now, which is just crazy to me. So I think meeting my friends and having them being so inspired to be artists and still contribute to the world. I mean, artists always contribute to the world, but also contribute to the world, and they're big activists too. So they really convinced me that I could do that as well.
That's awesome. How important do you think advocacy is to being an artist, whether it be just hip hop or music in general?
I think it's really important, especially right now. There's a lot of people who are fighting kind of to be seen, and a lot of people are still, especially artists of color and their music, are not seen at all. It's also pretty difficult to be a woman in the music industry, just because it is so dominated by men. So those intersections are constantly important to be thinking about and advocating for. Even if you just look at lineups when you go to amateur shows that we perform at. There's rarely do you see, until about this year, rarely did I see women headlining. It's often they're put in the first slot or some really short slot, and they're not really cared about. People like 1AM have made themselves super important to the community, and also are so talented, and their music is amazing. So she now is a major headliner for a lot of shows, which is really great. But that wasn't true a couple years ago. We were all really, I felt like we were struggling to make a voice, and hip hop in general, especially where I am from in Santa Cruz, and even in the Watsonville, Gilroy area, it's just it's not accepted by the community as an art form that should be on the stage and higher art, and which is celebrated or anything, and there's not a lot of spaces for it, and we really have to do the legwork to reach out to venues, and we're doing it, but it's a lot of venues reach out to rock bands all the time. We're just ignored.
It's a very big discriminatory thing that's going on, but hopefully there is some change going on, but after a few years from now it should be just as an even playing field.
And especially for artists of color, there's just a lot of inherent racism in venues, spaces, and promotion.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you think separates you from other artists?
Oh wow, these are the tough ones. I think I am very not a lot of people. I'm doing alternative pop music right now.
Okay.
That's what I'm really working on. I would love, and I intend on exploring a bunch of other genres after I've kind of gone through this phase. But in terms of writing, I'm just doing a lot of alternative pop music, which is really fun because I want to make it like playable on the radio. So yeah, often I'm the only one at a hip-hop show that's doing pop music, or any show really that's doing pop music at the amateur level, because often pop artists like Ariana Grande or Taylor Swift, they are picked out of other genres, mostly singing songwriter with a guitar, go into an open mic, and then they're chosen and they get a famous producer and they're like, you're going to work together and here's a pop song. So not a lot of people are doing any type of amateur pop music. And I only realized this pretty recently, and I really want to get some kind of movement started, because there's a lot of people who listen to that and digest that music and can totally write for that very multi-million-dollar kind of
profitable kind of
really
artwork,
profitable part of music right now. And that's what I'm trying to develop, is like a little so I think I am unique in that right now, but I hope I'm not going to be unique for long. I hope there's a lot of other men and women who do that. The closest there is Genoa Brown. Check her out. She's amazing. She's more R&B for sure, and she comes from a great knowledge of a bunch of type of music, so it's influenced by a ton of things. But she's getting pretty poppy lately. Her last release was pretty poppy, so and she's way better than, she's like at a higher level. She's not amateur.
Don't put ourselves down. Yeah? You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I love making music, and I'm very proud of the music I've made, so
that's good. What's the difference between pop music and alternative pop music?
That's a great question. I think it's very slight. I find alternative pop music is a little more complicated and metaphorical and like dark and twisted. I guess you could think like some of the mainstream alternative pop are like
very bright, or
yeah, even like Lorde and Billie Eilish are weird. But yeah, the typical pop like Ariana Grande or like Taylor Swift or whoever, or even like it's more simple. The song is trying to relate to you in the most general way. You know, you're talking about a party, you're talking about a relationship that could be anybody's relationship. It's not as specific with the lyrical. I think it's lyrical mostly, and then also song format. Typical pop song, you're gonna have a chorus, you're gonna have a pre-chorus, you're gonna have 2 verses and like a perfect repetition, and then a double chorus at the end. Like you have a very specific order
in order to make it catchy, right?
Catchy radio, like the perfect size. Like they're all like exactly a certain minute time. You know.
For sure. Tell me, what are your 5 favorite singers?
5 favorite singers. I would have to say Sia influences me a lot.
Okay.
Lauryn Hill.
Nice.
Erykah Badu is so amazing. Diana Ross.
Okay.
Wow, I went through a big phase of that. And let's see, I'm trying to think of one more. Yeah. I'll think about it. I'll come back to me. Well, I guess Amy Winehouse is a classic.
Oh, that's a good one.
I always try to emulate her voice, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a really one of a kind voice. It's really cool. What do you hope to accomplish with your music? What's the overall goal?
Oh, wow. It's kind of hard to say. In some ways it's selfish in the way that like I was very much in the mindset of like trying to get a job and a career, and trying to think forward into like monetary means. But I realized very quickly I'm not a person who likes to live in like a Groundhog's Day world where I just go to work, go to sleep, get up, go to work, go to sleep. And I really fell in love with music, and I just found that I was happy and I didn't need anything else. I almost could like not work and not care about the world. But I really hope that in music I find connections. I want to build a music community, and I want to be around people who love it just as much as I do, and also to have there be a culture of it. Because in Santa Cruz, Watsonville, and Gilroy, we're all very separated. There isn't a very thriving culture yet of music.
Not really.
So, and I would like to see that, or I'd like to be around it, and I would like to develop it in my own community, because I don't want to just leave for another artist community.
Yeah, exactly. People like to. It's good to establish your own community first before you start branching off to others. You know.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. Or just leaving it to not have a community, and
Yeah, definitely.
at all. Yeah.
All right. So you also get involved in your community as well. Speaking of which, tell us about a little bit of stuff you've done.
Yeah. I am running this small little project called the Loud Project.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow us on Instagram at Loud Project 831. So that's pretty cool. It's mostly to eventually, we have a website that we're almost coming out with, but it has a Facebook page right now too. We're coming out with resources to tell community artists and musicians about the community resources that are out there. Hopefully to also connect them if they're looking for each other or other shows to promote or collab with in terms of venues. That's really helpful. And then the second part of that is a fund. I'm trying to put together a little artist fund. We did it last year. I had $3,000 to give out, and I gave it all out to 11 different artists, which was really amazing. And mostly hip hop artists. I think it was like 90% hip hop artists. So I'm very, very proud of that. But if you want to apply, I will be posting about it both on my artist page as well, and
all
on
links
the
will
Loud
be down in
Project.
the description below if you want to check that out.
And also on the Loud Project page. So I really encourage music artists to apply. The parameters are really just to be a community-based project, whether that be you're collaborating with another artist on the album, or you're hosting a show and you're having like 6 different artists come, or you're collaborating with a local music studio that is community-based. We just really, or providing services for community members. It's really important to us that it's community-based, but it's pretty easy to make your project community-based. Artists, we all work together. We're very collaborative. So yeah, that will be coming out, and we're very excited. I have a person who's going to do all the granting, and the community chooses who gets granted. So I don't have anything to do with it. I just fundraise some money.
Awesome. For sure. Tell us about your work with the prison reform.
Oh yeah. So that's my day job. Someday I'll be an artist and just an artist. But I work in the jail in Watsonville, and I'm very passionate about prison abolition and prison reform. Right now I assist the construction a wood shop class that we have, and I support it. They get to be in the wood shop 3 days a week and the gardens twice a week, and I kind of manage and support and sustain that program. But it's really very cool. We need to do more art in jails. If you ever want to perform in a jail or a juvie artist, you should, or it's really important to provide them programs, and hopefully we knock down prisons someday.
Definitely, yeah. It's very important to highlight these things, because a lot of times people don't like to think about them. They're not remembered on society.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're all bad, leave them there, rot. But there are a lot of real human beings in there, and a lot of stuff can really help out. You know what I'm saying?
The next Vince Staples is in there. They're wonderful freaking artists. And they're talented people. I get to see that all the time.
Yeah, it's awesome. Anything else you want to add to people out there, though?
Oh, no, I'm really excited to be interviewed by you. I really love being a part of this whole community, and I am very excited to keep on collaborating, because connecting is what we need to do in order to grow and find more people, find more music.
Nice. And where can they find your music at?
You can find my music at Bandcamp or Spotify or Apple Music. I put out my first album about a year ago called The Dollhouse Tape under Lou, and my Instagram is Lou.Noise. But I am coming out with a new album hopefully in the next month, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be like 14 songs, which is crazy. So yeah, if you like some alternative pop music, check me out.
That's right. All right, guys, gonna be a wrap. Thank you to Lou for coming through for the interview.
Thank you, Reckless.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you. You're welcome. And make sure to check out the links in the description so you can check out her music and check out the Loud Project. And until next time, guys, we out.